Home court belongs to the Timberwolves in this one as we bring you a Western Conference matchup here live from the Target Center in Minneapolis. And here it comes, the NBA on 2. We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first...
Thank you, Kevin. Jim.
Thanks, David. You can tell Butler has a good head on his shoulders, an elite talent in this league because of the hard work he puts in. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, that has plays for those momentums and those times. Or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood.
Like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? Little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was all fire, I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
Cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So that's important.
And the Clippers starting 5. Worthy out there with Nowitzki. Then it's Olajuwon, and it's Rose, and it's Butler in at the 2 guard. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. What's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously?
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
Man, you're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude? Straight up.
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Man, especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev? I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college. And I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life.
Which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old, taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you. And you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan.
Timmy,
yeah, how about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is an inner animal that you never speak about. We're all a little off. We're all a little dark. But that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal. No one has ever done it. That's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. And if Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
He did Will Chamberlain a favor. And that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive. And the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. Olajuwon with a screen on Boozer. Rose passes to Olajuwon. Back to Rose. 6 to shoot. And Anthony sends it back.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear. They're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Just simple.
Minnesota shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
2 shots. Last on the first.
The first one falls. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me, on top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
That's good from Johnson. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
You got to appreciate the skill set of Evans. I mean, Tyreek Evans can play a few different spots for you, and he's got nice handles for a guy his size.
And that one goes in, 2 from the line that time. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, you know, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
You know, those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, you know, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You know, you open up yourself to try to, you know, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, you know, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you're very cordial. And, you know, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, you know, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil's super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, you know, shout to Doc. And, you know, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Here's Boozer, rejected by Randolph.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That's his first foul. Alinari, he's checked in for Johnson. Timberwolves leading by 5. Outside Anthony, it's Gallinari on top of the key. And the wide open shot from Evans. Off target from the wing.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
And the basket by Starks.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Anthony with the screen on Wiggins. Down low, and it's Anthony with the jam.
And what a smooth release on that shot. Melo is money in the bank from there.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Doherty up top. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. Doherty, the screen. Here's Wiggins. That's short off the rim. Three-pointer. Curry. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good. And so it's Minnesota bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They've been playing some ferocious defense. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Well, we know what Derrick Rose has been through, the injuries, the expectations. And we asked him how he's dealing with all of it.
I got a clear mind when I play. I can't think about the past. I can't think about if I'm going to hurt myself, if I move the wrong way. When I'm out there, I have a free mind. I have no expectations on myself. I just know that I prepare myself well. There's no pressure.
Colin Rose says no pressure, but I have to feel like there's at least a little bit, guys, of pressure to get back to where he was.
Yeah, I mean, league MVP in 11, once considered a cornerstone for the NBA's youth movement. What we find out now after dealing with the adversity is, does he have the heart and drive?
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
And through that first period, for me, their work on the glass has been the difference.
Yep, pounding away on the boards. I mean, controlling the backboards. It's been a huge difference so far.
We've got Anthony. Evans out there with Gallinari. Then it's Curry. And it's Boozer in at the four-man position. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Timberwolves. Outside Williams. He dishes it to Randolph. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You know, you got to do progressions where right after the game you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. You know, when we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to Bidu. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you know, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, it may not be the era of the center in the NBA, but Jonas Valanciunas has something to say about that. He said, I try to make sure they don't forget about centers. I'll keep reminding them. The league is full of guys that can do different things, but I still think you need a center that can rebound the ball and score in the low post. Agreed. Kevin?
Well, the centers are still important, David. Good to see Valanciunas making his presence felt in the paint.
And talk about putting some extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Well, I tell you what, guys, the young kids like to say, that's doing too much. That falls into that category. That was too much.
The Timberwolves shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
That's been one of the strongest aspects of this team this season. I mean, there have been very few off nights for them at the free throw line.
That's good from Anthony. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line, currently the Hacka Drummond, Hacka Shaq, all this stuff, Hacka DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Mm-hmm. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to the spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Gallinari with it. Butler covering. Lopez kicks to Gallinari. And it's Gallinari again missing. Los Angeles has gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, see, Webb was kind of... he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe. Who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time, I was a big who had handles. And if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God.
But look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
And that one's good by Butler. And it's a 4-point Clipper lead. And look at how the hustle game has been going for Los Angeles.
They've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up here together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand that you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, if you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. That free throw good from Gallinari. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Wallace comes in for Brook Lopez. And Alexis Ajinça subbed in for Carmelo Anthony. Gallinari hits them both. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K. but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen,
Very much so.
shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch, and the game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Iverson again throws. Iverson dishes to Wallace. Rose against Iverson. Hits the jumper in space. Iverson's got 4 this quarter. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson. I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his...
No kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
And that one misses. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. Free throw drops for Hill. Kevin, some of the relatively new rules protecting players, the breakaway, the flagrant 1, the flagrant 2. Are you in favor of all this stuff?
I'm in favor for players' health. You know, anything that is going to be detrimental to a player's health, I feel like, you know, the player's health is the first and only obligation. That's all I've ever worried about. You know, foul play, you know, I think every player should always understand it's a way to foul. It's a way to be able to, you know, send a message. But in the heat of the moment, I get it. You know, things happen. But just I hope that all players out there will continue to, you know, to care about and respect the game.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Johnson kicks to Hill. And he banks in the layup. Hill's got 6 points in the quarter. And a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Well, in the first half of play, they're closing out aggressively, blocking shots, a key indicator of their activity on the defensive side.
You know, they've also shown some real tenacity here early on tonight, and it's paid off with a lot of second chance points.
Count it.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pretty clear, it's smash mouth basketball. Pound that thing inside.
Rose kicks it over to Worthy. Here's Nowitzki. And the rejection by Ajinça. Johnson outside. We've got 1:48 left now here in the second. Count it.
Fruitful possession, just doing what they can to extend the lead.
Yeah, that's tremendous efficiency there. I mean, you like seeing them put together these types of plays.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And Derrick Rose, the former #1 overall pick in 08, one of the most athletically gifted point guards the league has ever seen.
First trip to the line for him here.
And that 84% free throw percentage is a testament to all the hard work he's put in on the line.
Guys, he is close to where he was last year in that category, but his numbers are still down just a skosh.
And the first one at the line is good. Minnesota making some changes. Boozer, he's checked in for Wallace. And it's Evans in for Allen Iverson. A big group substitution here for the Clippers. Doherty, he's checked in for Olajuwon. Randolph comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Wiggins is checked in for James Worthy. And Starks is subbed in for Jimmy Butler. And both free throws good for Rose.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
Yeah, I don't think it's an accident that aggressiveness correlates with playing better. So the aggressiveness is starting to pay off.
Great to have you with us, KG, and Lightning Experience. Come back and join us sometime, okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it anytime.
You were terrific. You were terrific. You were great.
K-Hall, you always make me look good, man. Since 95, man. We've been doing this a long time, my dude.
Great to see you.
Thank you, dog.
Always fun to have Kevin Garnett on the set, Clark. You can tell he was in high spirits as usual. Have to respect his continued zeal for the game.
Yeah, he's never lacked for passion or zeal. It's been part of what's made him such a great player, a Hall of Famer in the future. And I don't think that's ever going away. I mean, he's really a kid at heart, and he played the game that way, which was a pleasure to watch. And, man, it's been really cool seeing him do what he did as an NBA player and actually giving back to some of the younger guys that are coming up in the league now.
Johnson, the pass to Curry. Some solid defense from Doherty. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Great look, but off the mark. Johnson outside. Another shot. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Olajuwon's checked in for the Clippers.
One shot.
And that one falls for Johnson. And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
Hill dishes to Curry.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. I mean, he had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Curry, 2 shots.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
The free throw drops for Curry. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Here's Williams. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Wiggins. With 1 on the clock, that shot off. And so it's Minnesota holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Carmelo, you got some real numbers off the bench in the first half. How important is that contribution to the team?
Well, I mean, we always believe that we have one of the better benches in the NBA, and when they come to play like we playing so far, you know, it makes it a tough game, makes it a tough team to beat, and you know, just hoping we can keep that up.
I'm sure it puts confidence in you and in the coach going into the second half. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime
Hello again,
Show.
everybody. Boy, what a crowd joining us here for our halftime report. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. It's Minnesota out in front at the half. They have an 8-point lead. How about you, Shaq? What'd you think about Minnesota?
Well, they're out in front tonight because of their offensive rebounding. Those second-chance buckets came into play in a big way. Those are effort points, momentum builders, salvaging points off the scrap heap. You never heard me say scrap heap before, Ernie. I don't even know what it means. It just sounded good.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Clippers.
Well, it's almost impossible to catch up if you keep fouling. They need to be the team getting to the foul line at a higher rate in the second half. That means driving to the basket, hitting the cutters, slicing to the basket. Anything going to the basket is your friend.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
All right, the second half beginning in just a moment. A fantastic game from Magic Johnson in this one.
And through the first 2 periods, it seemed he got to the paint whenever he wanted to. Just a slasher's mentality.
Yeah, you know, good things happen when he cuts to the rim, Greg, and you cut into the heart of the defense like that, makes things easy.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Clippers trailed by 8. Taking a look at Los Angeles. They've got Olajuwon. Nowitzki is out there with Worthy. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Rose in at the 1 spot.
And without question, Derrick Rose is one of the most athletic players the league has ever seen. Right there, reminding us just what he can do.
Johnson kicks to Ajinça. And good coming off the assist by Magic Johnson. Ajinça's got 8 points.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, we know the Clippers are one of the best teams in the league, but are they good enough to win it all? Coach Doc Rivers talked about overcoming the super teams they face. He said the big 3 in Boston, put them together, bam, we won. We had Miami, Golden State, but there are teams that still poke through. Dallas did it, and that's what we're trying to do. Kevin?
And with Doc in control, the Clippers, DA, they'll always be in contention for a title. Thanks so much for that terrific report.
1 shot.
Well, Clark, you've been in the booth for so long, but I have to ask, have you ever toyed with the idea of coaching or working in some team's front office? I know you did briefly for the Pacers.
Yeah, I did, and I enjoyed it. I was working in player relations, player development with our guys off the court, and loved it. But it just wasn't something I could sustain at this season in my life. Not interested in coaching. I've never really been, because my career path went towards broadcasting right after I got done playing, and I've paid my dues and have grown in this profession. And I would want to do the same thing in coaching, and I just don't have enough time in front of me to do that. So I'm happy to be around the game in this capacity. Coaching never lets up. I get an off season as a broadcaster.
Yes. Worthy, the pass to Rose. Nowitzki gets a wide open look. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got 4 assists now tonight. Butler against Iverson. Passes it to Ajinça. Johnson kicks to Iverson. Olajuwon with the block. They shoot again. Lopez. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
Butler, no good.
But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
Johnson kicks to Ajinça. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. From deep, Iverson. That's in for his 5th make of the night. Now shooting at a 50% clip, 5 for 10.
You know, he attracts a lot of attention, and Lopez making the most of it there to set his teammate up with an open look.
Kicks to Nowitzki. Back to Rose. Nowitzki a screen. Rose dishes to Nowitzki. Another one falls for the Clippers.
Tell you what, Nowitzki really, he can fill it up from anywhere. You got to admire his scoring ability, including his mid-range game.
Iverson with the ball. Butler covering. Here's Johnson. That misses off the backboard.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Did a good job guarding the mid-range, extended out nicely, and definitely bothered the shot.
Minnesota making a switch here. Anthony's checked in. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Johnson, the pass to Lopez. He feeds it to Ajinça. A baseline J. Iverson, no luck. Clippers trail by 6. Nowitzki kicks to Butler. Rose gets a wide open look. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. 17 points for Derrick Rose.
Tell you what, you got to give Butler credit. He's good at sensing when his guys are wide open, and he gets the ball to him right away.
And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
I'll tell you what, they've hit the boards hard in this one, and it's led to an abundance of second-chance points. I mean, they've gotten a lot of second-chance points.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
Well, you knew the Clippers would be hit hard in free agency. Losing both Paul and Redick kind of changes the outlook of the team, but still I think they're going to be solid and one that I expect to make the postseason, but I don't think that we can label them as a contender.
The Timberwolves again can't hit. Here's Nowitzki with the tip. The rebound by Johnson. Minnesota leading by 4. Back to Lopez. There's the triple. Bangs home the trifecta. Lopez has got his second bucket of the night. And Greg with the moves. The era of Lob City, it looks like it's officially over.
Yeah, and it was a fun run. But the team just, one, couldn't stay healthy, and they had some bad luck, let's face it, in the postseason. Entertaining group to watch, no doubt about it, but now we start the new era in Clipperland.
Clippers trail by 9. Here's Butler. He has 5. Pass to Rose. Jacks up a 3. Sinks the three-pointer. Rose has got 20.
Another bomb for him right now. His three-point shooting might be the key to cutting that lead.
I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, as long as he keeps knocking them down, they might as well keep going back to the well. No reason to let it run dry. Keep firing that thing.
Picked by Olajuwon. Pass to Butler. Rose against Johnson. 5 to shoot. Nowitzki a screen. Here's Rose, and Anthony sends it back.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
Johnson kicks to Gallinari. Shot off the pick. And there's Iverson. That's good on the assist from Gallinari. Iverson's got 7 points for the quarter.
Yeah, and he's connecting on a lot of his shots here, shooting a high percentage from the field, really giving his team a boost.
Los Angeles calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
He's checked in for Minnesota. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for Los Angeles.
And they're getting them up from beyond the arc, shooting a solid percentage from out there. So thus far, it hadn't been a problem.
Rose with the ball. He's got 20. Butler on the wing. Here's Olajuwon. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got his 4th assist in this one.
And you just love how Butler works the ball around to his guys. A selfless player who wants to make his teammates better.
And the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant 1 foul.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. And the first one drops.
Boy, I tell you, one of the most accomplished and effective post scorers in the league is Brook Lopez. I mean, this guy gets it done in there. He's got size, footwork, and the silky smooth touch to get it done in a big way on the low block. Gotta like the confidence. Such an important part of making shots. Nice seeing a big man knock down free throws.
And the Clippers making a change here. Zach Randolph, he's checked in for Olajuwon. Andrew Wiggins comes in for James Worthy. Starks checked in for Jimmy Butler. And it's Williams in for Rose. Count that bucket.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
And with Brook Lopez's size and strength, Clark, he's got the physical build to back you down and finish over the top.
And not to mention, Kevin, you're right about all of that, but the shooting skill, excellent skill, footwork, hands, touch, a high percentage finisher, and an excellent free throw shooter.
Williams kicks to Starks. Nowitzki outside. Fires from the wing. And again, the Clippers good for 2.
Hey, you know what? Any shot is a good shot from Nowitzki. He's out there to score the basketball, and he's always aggressive on offense.
Johnson kicks to Lopez. Off target from 3-point range.
And I tell you what, he's doing his best to contribute, but he's been out of sync, out of rhythm. Luckily, this team still is in front.
Wiggins outside. Randolph sets a screen for Wiggins. Down to 5 on the shot clock. It's stolen by Anthony. And here we go with Anthony running it up the court. Up again. Here's Williams taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game. Picked by Randolph. Williams kicks to Starks. From deep. No good on the shot. And Minnesota now the other way. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And I think they can hold their heads high from that performance, despite the final score being what it was.
I agree with you. I mean, it was a tough game played in a tough environment on the road, and they were in it right until the bitter end, so that's good stuff.
And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
Hey, I thought there was some style there, guys. What are you guys looking at? I mean, it was still a pretty sweet, flavorful one-hand flush.
And with Andrew Wiggins, he can be deadly from mid-range, but he's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts, and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
Definitely not pleased with their rebounding at the defensive end. The number of putbacks they've allowed has been terrible. I'm sure that's what he's going to address during this timeout.
Different look for the Clippers. Worthy comes in for Andrew Wiggins, and Derrick Rose is subbed in for Darren Williams. Clippers trail by 11. Right side Rose. Here's Olajuwon. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Clippers team.
Yeah, and this game kicks off a 4-game season series between the two teams.
Two conference foes, guys, looking to take game one tonight. It'll be very interesting to see who can land the first blow.
Here's Curry. Olajuwon with the block. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. And it seems like we've seen more and more of these guys in recent years. Big men who can shoot the three. Over the last month, these have been the best of them. Dirk Nowitzki, number 1. 4th, Brook Lopez.
And, there was a time in the league when you wouldn't see a group of big guys like this, but the game has evolved. Versatility now is why we see so many bigs that can just flat out shoot it from anywhere.
And these guys are really incredible. I mean, on one trip, they give you points in the paint. On the next trip, they give you points behind the arc. Boy, talk about range and versatility in spades. You got it.
Evans kicks to Anthony. Feeds it to Curry. Johnson the screen. Evans dishes to Johnson. Curry a screen on Worthy.
And that 4th foul, guys, might force him to scale back the aggression from a defensive standpoint. He does not need, nor does the team need, number 5.
Grant Hill, he's checked in for Tyreek Evans. Johnson outside. 6 on the shot clock. Olajuwon against Curry. Another miss by Curry. Clippers trail by 9. Here's Worthy. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. That one's on Anthony.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling.
For Los Angeles, they have been excellent at the free throw line. Here today, a flawless 6 for 6.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
And the first one at the line is good.
And the Clippers are known as a high wire act, and rightfully so with their stars. This team is also one that can at times lock it down defensively. I don't think they get enough credit for what they do on that side of the ball.
Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Curry. He's perfect from the line this time. The Clippers not a team known for their defense, but quite often the last few years, it's been the deciding factor for them in games.
Yeah, and I think it starts with the pressure they place on ball handlers. They can throw double teams or pick up far out from the hoop. They've got shot blocking inside to erase mistakes as well.
The feed to Olajuwon. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. Olajuwon's got 6 points in the quarter.
And that's the role they want for Rose, getting guys going through his passing, especially when he can find them in rhythm.
Great job getting to the right spot on the court. Beautiful passing all the way around.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. It's stolen by Hill. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Jimmy Butler.
Shooting for Minnesota, Grant Hill. At the line for 2.
Shooting 2.
And he can't get the first one. No good on the second free throw. Clippers trail by 9. Rose kicks to Olajuwon. Now here's Butler. 7 points in the game. Here's Worthy. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Yeah, that is a timely three-pointer there. They had to keep it within reach going into the fourth, and that shot allows them to do just that.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Looking good at this point, but wanting more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Let's hear what Doc Rivers has going on over in his huddle.
Hey, guys, we need a run right here. Come on now. You're right there. You're right there. All right?
And sensing the need to string together more baskets, Doc Rivers giving his team a little pep talk.
Yeah, he's going after the momentum. I mean, Doc sees an opportunity here for them to put their stamp on this game.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. Alexis Ajinça is out there with Boozer, and it's Hill, then it's Anthony, and it's Johnson in at the 1. So that's the lineup for Minnesota.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
As well he should, Greg. I mean, he always is looking to score the ball, even more so when he's hot. I like the mindset.
Here's Rose. Nowitzki sets a screen for Rose. Over Johnson.
And with D. Rose going through the free agent process this past summer, very different market than when he first signed his big extension back in 2012. But still, there were teams that wanted what he has to offer, and he'll make an impact.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
The first one falls.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
And that efficiency, Greg, as you know, so critical when you're looking to overcome a deficit. You got to be close to perfect and can't waste scoring opportunities.
And Rose drops them both.
You know, he's a steady hand at the free throw line, showing tremendous confidence in this one.
Johnson kicks to Anthony. Screen by Boozer. Worthy against Anthony. The pass to Hill. 5 to shoot. Knocked away. And for Rose in his free agency, he isn't, Greg, the same player he once was, but he can still run a team, and he can get you some points.
Yeah, and his leadership is a big part of the package now. He can be a good mentor to upcoming guards in an organization, act as kind of that bridge, if you will, for a team, or that missing piece for a franchise looking to make a run.
Here's Hill, blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. And the Timberwolves lead by 4.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Yeah, it's really been quite a contrast. I like the way they're attacking the middle and at their offensive end.
Three-pointer, Butler, rebounded by Anthony. Looking at Los Angeles, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Mavericks. And Dirk Nowitzki gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Johnson outside, dishes it to Carmelo. Shoots over Worthy, and the rebound goes to Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 12 rebounds here tonight. Big time effort. Nowitzki with the screen on Johnson. It's stolen by Ajinça. 3-on-3. Outside Hill. Shoots off the screen. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Worthy's got 4 rebounds in this game. He kicks it to Nowitzki. That one misses. And Minnesota now the other way. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Johnson outside. The dish to Hill. Screened by Boozer. Off the pick. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
2 shots, gentlemen.
You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They felt it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends.
Free throw drops for Hill. Lopez, he's checked in for Minnesota. Iverson comes in for Anthony. Both free throws good from Hill.
And he can kind of relax a little bit now as he finally comes through at the line. He let a few too many of those chances get by.
Picked by Olajuwon. And here's Rose outside.
Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
Guys, that's been the key to their lead. I mean, simply put, the effort they've displayed on the glass has been the difference.
And finished off by Worthy.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's foul number 2 for him.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Lets it go. Iverson, no good.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Pass to Rose. Rose double teamed.
Jump ball. You too.
So it's Minnesota now. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Clippers trail by 4. The open shot by Worthy. It's good. This time the assist from Rose.
And Rose, an explosive scorer, but he's always been a very capable passer at the point.
Johnson kicks to Iverson. Over Butler. Another miss by Iverson.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And it's Butler missing. For Minnesota, they've gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the fourth. A lot of misses, just the one make. Johnson tipped back in for 2. Johnson's got 19 points.
Excellent timing on that tip in. That's something that makes him so good. I mean, just great timing in the air around the basket. A gift.
Clippers moving the ball around. Nowitzki kicks to Butler. He dishes it to Olajuwon. 5 to shoot. It's Nowitzki, top of the key, and right on target with the swish.
He is pouring it on in the second half, guys. I mean, a much better showing than he had before the break.
And Lopez has it in the corner. Lopez with another miss.
Early on, he tried to shoot his way out of this funk, but later in the game now, he might want to just give it up and look for his teammates to do the scoring.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
It's stolen by Olajuwon. And finished off by Rose.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Vitally important. I mean, if you relax for a second, you're cooked. You're toast. They learned that lesson there.
The kick out to Lopez. He feeds it to Johnson. Shot clock at 6. Shot to stop the run, and the rebound goes to Nowitzki.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Not much else you can do there. I mean, that's what you want. Too bad they weren't able to finish it off.
And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Johnson outside. Kicks to Ajinça. Outside Hill. Shot clock at 5. Over Worthy. Good on that shot, and with that, the Los Angeles lead is cut down to just 1 on the bucket from Hill.
And he has the chops for this, raising the intensity when it matters most.
Yeah, he's really calm in these situations. Simply takes his time in tight spots. You got to be patient, and he is playing to his strengths.
Here's Lopez, kicks it out to Iverson. A 3-pointer off the mark. Clippers have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. On its way from Rose for 2, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Rose passes to Olajuwon. Butler against Iverson. Lets it go from 11. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him.
And there isn't a lot that they're doing well right now defensively. They just seem to be disconnected defensively in the second.
Again, Iverson missing.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
Butler dishes to Rose. Here's Olajuwon. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got assist number 11 for him here tonight.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team. Right now, the defense needs to do a better job of closing out on this guy. He's heating up from outside.
Olajuwon with a screen on Johnson. Rose kicks to Olajuwon. Over Lopez. Lopez with the block.
Lopez showing off the length there to get to that shot.
Here's Johnson. Count it, and the foul. That one on Rose.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
And you look at the history of the Timberwolves, and there have been some incredible players. Clark, which Timberwolf player always was your favorite to watch, and why?
Well, Kevin Garnett was fun to watch wherever he played. Clearly his early career was in Minnesota, and his intensity, his focus, his versatility, his two-way prowess. Sam Mitchell, guy I got to know when he was in Indiana, just one of those solid veteran guys. And then Kevin Love, a double-double 20-10 guy, was really good while he was there too.
Outside Butler launches a three, and again Los Angeles with the triple.
It seems like they found their rhythm offensively, and they're shooting the ball much better out of the break.
Hey, I don't know if it was changing baskets or what, guys, but they clearly look a lot better offensively.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
Butler on the wing, launches it. Minnesota with the rebound. Lopez has got 9 rebounds now tonight. Out to the right wing to take the lead. That's good, and it's Johnson with the assist. Johnson's got his 9th assist in the game now. Nowitzki sets a screen for Rose. Inside, here's Nowitzki. Looks good, is good. That's his 7th basket in 12 tries.
Even during huge possessions, Kevin, Nowitzki excellent at finding ways to score because he always stays in the moment.
They set the screen. Here's Johnson. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in. Johnson's got 25 points in the game. Johnson against Rose. Outside Worthy. Fires from the line, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. That's on Brook Lopez.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you could hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. And he does get the second one, and that ties the game up.
Yeah, look, you'd like to take the lead on that possession, but at least he was able to tie the game up.
Here's Iverson, and it's sent back by Nowitzki.
And, you know, Nowitzki is capable of 86ing these shots now. That means rejection, using his height and wingspan to deny.
Los Angeles with another miss. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. On the wing, Johnson. Outside Hill. Lopez a screen. A high post shot, and he comes up with the deuce. 14 points for Hill.
And you're starting to see some tired legs on those defenders as we come down the stretch here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. I mean, fatigue really a factor. You can see the heavy legs, and that's why he was wide open on that shot. The defender just couldn't get to him.
Nowitzki, good.
And Nowitzki is super duper much in the clutch. I mean, he doesn't panic, and he enjoys taking on these kind of challenges to help elevate his team.
Iverson. It's good.
And this atmosphere is bananas.
Electric in here. I mean, that was a tremendous shot. This crowd all over.
Oh!
Goodness. Wow. Bringing the heat, the thunder, and the lightning on that pound. I tell you what, this is the white-hot version of Derrick Rose right now.
Minnesota calls timeout. now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose.
And Kevin, it's a no-brainer. He's controlled every aspect of this game, and it's just so fun to see a player perform at a level that's just higher than anyone else out on the floor.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, well, let's summarize what Tom Thibodeau went over with his guys during the break. He told them, look, fellas, this is what we're capable of when you come together as one. I knew you had it in you, just like I know we're going to come out on top. Finish this game.
And when things are tight, Butler just seems to step his game up. Tremendous score here in the clutch.
Johnson kicks to Iverson, tries a three, kept alive. Ajinça, and out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
Huge turnover at really the worst possible time. You have to value every possession, especially at this stage of the game.
Here is Rose, and they go to the intentional foul. First free throw is good, and that makes it a three-point lead. And so both free throws are good. It's a 4-point ball game.
And that makes it a two-possession game now. Those could turn out to be vital free throws.
And the Timberwolves call timing. They're trailing by 4. 23 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. What's your take, guys?
It's going to be interesting to see what they draw up to get this quick shot.
Whatever it is, it's got to be fast. I mean, can't waste any time at this point.
Here is Hill. Goes up off the pick. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
That's his second personal foul. Teams is a penalty. At the line for your Timberwolves, Grant Hill. Taking 2 shots.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
And that makes it a one-possession game, guys. Got to be the biggest free throws of the game thus far.
And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
Had to foul and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
And you know what, Greg? Who knows? A few misses at the stripe, and they're right there within range. You know, late-game free throws are a lot different than early-game free throws in terms of making.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
And, guys, I think Jimmy Butler has all the tools you could want in a two-way player. He's an excellent defender, and he also can score the ball from just about anywhere.
19 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Here's Iverson. Good work defensively by Nowitzki.
A good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Hey, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
James, 2 shots.
And no good as the first free throw, missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time. Johnson, the pass to Ajinça. Fires the three. Offline. So it's the Clippers taking the win in a close one. A truly gutsy performance away from home.
You know, it really was. And Kevin, when this one was hanging in the balance late, they showed just what a tough-minded group they can be.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Jimmy, you have become a star in this league, big part of the team. Have those expectations put more pressure on you individually?
No pressure. I think I'm gonna do what I do each and every night. I'm not gonna play well every night, but I just gotta focus on me, this team. Can't worry about the outside influences.
A real leader, Jimmy. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that about wraps it up. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you later.